FM. Guess what? We're live. You know what that means? Because it's Saturday. It's 8 o'clock. It can only mean one thing. It's time for What a Week That Was. I know. Usually takes me about 10-15 minutes to get into my stride, so if you want to fast forward, if you're watching this not live, then feel free. And you can join in the chat room that we've currently got when we're live, or alternatively in the comments as well. Feel free to express your opinion, whether you agree or disagree with the stuff that I come out with. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do have a tendency of having a theory about things, conspiracy or otherwise. Anyway, this is the bit where we look at, don't know what happened there, where we look at the news for the week, starting on, well, I've said Sundays, but I'm not exactly sure that it is Sunday. Hi Alan, hope you're good, because the first thing we've got to look at isn't necessarily from Sunday, but it's really annoying, and that is water firms seek £156 rise in annual bills for every household to tackle shortages and sewage spills. Hi Kim, hi Luke, hope you're all well. The industry says its plans will pay for 10 new reservoirs, cut leaks and stop the equivalent of 6,800 Olympic-sized swimming pools worth of sewage spills. Yeah, that's what we pay you for already. You've been taking profits for 30 years and you've not invested in the infrastructure, which is Victorian, so you ain't getting any more money off me. Hi JT, hi Rach as well. Anyway, news proper on Sunday, and that was Rishi HS2 giving an interview with Laura Kuenssberg, where he basically refused to commit to tax cuts. He says his priority is to halve inflation. He also wouldn't answer a question, no matter how many times she asked, on whether or not HS2 would go all the way to Manchester or not. At least 13 dead after a big fire at 3 adjoining Spanish nightclubs. Really horrendous scenes there, but in Northern Ireland it was the start of the Windsor Framework, which is where basically goods that are going to Northern Ireland to be sold or used in Northern Ireland don't have to go through all the checks, whereas stuff that's going to Northern Ireland to go to Southern Ireland, which technically is Europe, have to have checks. So it's kind of a compromise between the not having a border in Ireland and not having a border in the Irish Sea. And I can see how it would work better. However, we'll have to wait and see if it actually does. But yeah, it's called the Windsor Framework because it was agreed at Windsor. Meanwhile, Italy warns that asylum seekers are going to overrun the whole of the European Union. Well, you know why? Because they have no boundaries of borders. That's why. Which is great if you you want to go on holiday somewhere and have a look around. Not so good if you want to keep people in the same place. Hi Angela, you've not missed anything. I've only done Sunday, so you're okay. But welcome. So yeah, got quite a few of the regulars in. If you want to become a regular, then by all means join in the chat. Meanwhile, on Monday, it was Andy Street. I know what you're thinking. I was thinking the same thing. How? Turns out he's the mayor of West Midlands, and he says the HS2 cancellation would be madness. So he completely disagrees with what I think. And meanwhile, Jeremy Hunt, says national minimum wage will go up to £11 an hour. No, living wage, not minimum wage. Why they don't just have one rather than two, I have no idea. But anyway, we don't. We have two. And to be fair, I've noticed that a lot of shops in the Grand Arcade have very few staff now. They've done exactly the same as what I've done over time. As wages have gone up, you've cut the hours of people and you've cut the number of people you've got on, which is why shoplifting's going up. It's all interlinked. Anyway, that was the conference, the Tory party conference. Meanwhile, massive explosion in Oxfordshire after a lightning strike. It's basically smashed into a kind of a fermentation where they get methane off food that's been sent, you know, like recycled. Anyway, the lightning strikes hit it, and it was a beautiful fire. It was like the best firework I've ever seen. Meow, 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 silence. That's not being silent, that's being very noisy, so shh, shh. As I've already said, water companies want to increase our water bills, and they can stick that up where the sun don't shine. They've been drawing profits for 30 years, paying their shareholders, paying their bosses stupid amount of money, and they've not done the infrastructure, so why the hell should we pay for it? Francis Lee, the famous England and Manchester City football player, passed away at the age of 79, which, I'll be honest with you, is not really a massive age these days. But anyway, Tuesday came along, usually does. You get Monday, then you get Tuesday. And there was talk at the Tory party conference, which was in Manchester, and it was announced that HS2 is going to be scrapped tomorrow, as in on Wednesday, but not official, so we'll have to wait. Exactly, pour water on that, I'm paying enough. Exactly, they've been creaming off profits for decades, so stuff them, that's what I say. Tragedy in Italy, on the mainland, just opposite of Venice. A coach smashed through a barrier and landed pretty much on its roof, and then instantly caught fire. Many dead, at least 20, and over 50 people obviously injured as well, because it was a heck of a fall. And people are saying because the coach was built to use or powered by gas rather than diesel or battery, that's why it caught fire. My argument would be if that had been a battery coach and it had gone through the barriers and flipped upside down, everyone inside would have been squashed, because batteries weigh so much. Batteries are not the future, gas is the future, although that wasn't hydrogen gas, that was, I think it might have been methane or something like that, but it wasn't hydrogen gas, which is what I keep saying that we need to look into 100% definitely. It also brought back memories, because I'm that old, of the 1975 crash at Devil's Bridge, where many old age pensioners died. Now the buses back in them days and the coaches back in them days were not made to roll over, because, well, let's be honest, they don't very often. So the safety aspects are not as great, but the images are strikingly similar, and sadly the death tolls as well are incredibly similar as well. But yeah, Devil's Bridge coach crash, remember it well. It kind of put me off going off coaches for a long while, but I think both of these may end up being, I know this one was something to do with the driver being taken ill, which is what happened on the M53 last week, when the driver and that young 15-year-old girl lost their lives. But yeah, it's horrendous what happens when a coach, that's the problem with public transport, I suppose. If anything happens, there's a lot of people involved, be it a train, a plane, or a coach or bus. Meanwhile, cat let out of the bag. Diary of Patrick Vallance has been leaked. Well, not been leaked, he's given it to the inquiry for the COVID response. He described it as chaos, flip-flop of Boris, absolute bipolar actions from the people, and people not taking it seriously enough in Downing Street. Who knew? Apart from everyone. There was also Liverpool, and they got VAR audio of the football match where they lost due to an error in the VAR thing. Now, I know nothing about football, so you'll have to bear with me on this, because I ain't got a clue when it comes to football. But as far as I can make out, the linesman, or the whatever he's called now, put his flag up when a goal had been scored to say that the person who scored the goal was over or offside, which is when, if you look at a pitch, so say that's the pitch, and this is the goal you're aiming for, you are nearer the goal than any of the players from the opposite team are when you receive the ball. That is offside, I think. Anyway, it went to VAR because the referee didn't think it necessarily was, so he asked for VAR. So the VAR looked at it, assistant referee one said, oh good, both holding, both holding. The referee himself said, yeah, leave it alone. Referee one again, waiting, delaying. Then the VAR, possible offside. And then assistant referee 2 said, give it, as in the goal. And then someone else said, coming back from the offside mate, just checking the offside, delay. So basically hold play until we get the thing going. Give a kick point, let's go, kick point please. No idea what that means, it's just absolute jargon. So here we are, wait, just get a tight angle. Give me 2D line ready after this, for frame 2 after that. So frame 2 there, that's fine, yeah. 2D line on left boot. Let me just switch angles. Romeo, I think it is. I think it might be. Angle any better? Happy with this angle. I mean, these are professional people talking absolute nonsense. I mean, I'm not professional. I'm talking absolute nonsense, but I don't get paid for this. The VAR guy says, check complete, that's fine, perfect. So the referee blows his whistle and signals offside, game restarts. The assistant referee one goes playing, referee cheers mate, referee well done boys, good process. Replay officer, wait, the on-field decision was offside. Reply operator, are you happy with this? Someone else says yep. And then again, are you happy with this? Offside goal, yeah. That's wrong, that, says someone else. And you're like, what is going on? And then finally, pardon. Ollie's calling in to say, delay the game, the decision is onside. The VAR says can't do anything. Ollie's saying to delay, Ollie? Fourth official, who's he? Yep. Delay the game, stop the game. They've restarted the game. Can't do anything. Yeah, they've restarted, yeah. Absolute bull. And when you actually see what they're looking at, and like I've said, I am not an expert, you can clearly see that, well, I don't know what you can clearly see, but I can clearly see. Let's make it a bit bigger for you, shall we? There you go. You can clearly see that that guy there, his foot is where the black line is, which is the furthest point nearest their goal that he is, and the guy who gets the actual ball, whoops, him there, is not near the black line. So therefore it's onside. That's what they looked at, and they still got it wrong. And then people wonder why people don't like VAR, and they wonder why people like me don't like football, because it's absolute nonsense. Anyway, enough rambling about VAR and something that I don't really care about, because, well, I don't. Another tragedy came up in the thunderstorm from the previous night, apart from the massive fire, where thankfully no one was injured. A 12-year-old footballer and a man were struck by lightning and were taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. However, they were both still in hospital last I heard. No, the man had been sent home actually, but the child was still in hospital and hopefully is recovering and will make a full recovery as is possible. That brings us to Wednesday. Now Wednesday's always fun because it's the middle day of the week, if you go Monday to Friday and ignore every other day. And Rishi Sunak, you know him, you know, the Prime Minister, he decides to actually deliver a speech, and he actually decides to say that he is going to scrap HS2 from Birmingham to Manchester, and he's going to invest the 36 billion they were going to spend on it from the Midlands northwards to increase capacity and regularity of the trains and motorways and roads, which sounds fantastic. It sounds so much better than HS2, which I've said all along is a complete waste of time, waste of money, not environmentally friendly, it won't be ready until after I'm dead. That's not why I'm saying it's rubbish, but wouldn't have been ready until after I was dead. By then, technology would have come on that you wouldn't need to get a train anywhere anyway, because you can either teleport, well maybe not, but you can certainly use VR. Look at Zoom, look at other things like that that came along when COVID was around. And we're talking 20 years down the line. Trains, nah, absolutely not. So yeah, he's going to invest in the roads and the networks around the north. Some of the money will go down south as well, but the majority of the money is going to the north. However, we wait with bated breath to see what will happen. One thing that did happen was that Labour said they weren't planning on redoing the HS2 from Birmingham to Manchester because the Tories have scrapped it, and therefore they won't have any money for it. What about all the money that's already put in? Well, the money that's already put in is mainly for the bit from that weird station that no one's ever heard of near London to Birmingham, and that is still being built because they are too far in for that. So yeah, they're just going to finish that off. But they've only invested somewhere in the region of 2 billion, I think, in the bit from Birmingham north, and a lot of that they can get back because a lot of it is from land that they've bought, which they can now resell back to either the people who sold it originally, i.e. houses, fields, farms, that kind of thing, or alternatively new people who buy the land, so they'll get a bit of that back. And apparently the £36 billion is the exact amount that is in the kitty after, because they've obviously hired all these contractors and designers and all that kind of stuff, engineers, to actually build the thing. They've got contracts, so we have to pay off the contracts for them as well, because that's how it works. But no, definitely the right thing. Absolute nonsense building that thing for 20 minutes quicker. Another thing you come up with, which I kind of agree with, although it's not exactly unique, is going to stop people smoking, but this is long term. Basically, pretty much anyone aged 14 or under will never in their lifetime be legally able to buy cigarettes, which is all well and good, but most of the kids nowadays vape. So what they need to do is ban all flavoured vapes, completely ban them, all of them. If you're found with a vape, because obviously they breathe it out, you can smell it, that is flavoured, you get a £500 fine. And if you're under 16, your parents get a £1,000 fine. We've just got to stop the kids doing it, and they're only doing it because it's cool, because of the flavours. And the long-term damage, we don't know what it is yet, because people haven't been using these as often as they are doing now for longer than 10 years, and long-term damage is 10 years plus. So I think we're building up a massive problem for the NHS or whatever's going to replace it. So yeah, the idea is, if you're buying cigarettes, the age of buying a cigarette legally will go up every year by 1 year. So for example, if you're the last year that you can buy a cigarette at 18, so you're 18 when that is the time that you've got to be 18 to buy a cigarette. When you're 19, the minimum age you can be is 19. When you're 30, the minimum age will be 30. It goes up one at a time. Like I say, it's a long-term plan. I think it would work, but other than shoving the market underground, I don't know how it's going to go. What about the corner shops and markets? There aren't many corner shops left nowadays, to be fair. And the markets, no, I think people's health is more important than someone making £5 on something that they bought for 50p and sell to people without any clinical checks. Plus, the children, I'd sooner, my grandkids are 6 and 3, and no, 5 and 3, sorry, and I wouldn't want them ever vaping, and by the time they're my age now, either be dead from some horrendous lung thing, or be majorly ill and incapacitated from it, because you breathe in these chemicals and all this moisture and everything into your lungs all the time. If people used it like they're supposed to do, you got a craving for a cigarette, oh, well, there you go, craving's gone. But they don't. They all pretend they're Thomas the Tank Engine or the Flying Scotsman. You walk behind people smoking these things, and it is literally a continual flow of stuff. I'm all for banning tobacco. I've seen firsthand the damage it causes. Exactly. You know, it's people's lives are more important than people's incomes. And I'd say that even if I sold them, and I don't sell them, so, you know. He also said, I challenge Keir Starmer to say this, a man is a man, and a woman is a woman. I mean, that sounds the most basic thing ever. But anyway, he said it, and people applauded him for it, which is like, that's like saying the sun comes up in the morning, and it goes down in the evening. I mean, it's just nonsense that that is even a thing. But this is where we are with politics, and this is where we are with the woke nonsense that's going on. Anyway, Thursday came around, because, well, Wednesday was over. My mother-in-law's always asked why I stand 5 feet away from her when she's smoking. Yeah, I've banned vapes from my shops, because I've had a couple while vapes have been around. God, for nearly a decade I've banned vapes from my shop. People doing them in the shop. Just horrendous, horrible things. Meanwhile, another war crime in Ukraine. 51 people, including an 8-year-old, killed in a missile strike in Horza. I mean, I don't know what we can do to stop it other than putting a bullet in Putin's head, but let's be honest, there's no one going to be able to do that anytime soon. Polls closed at the by-election in Scotland after the MP was removed by her own constituents for breaking COVID rules. She was the lady who found out she had COVID and travelled on a train without wearing a mask or anything else from London to Scotland and went to meetings and things, therefore putting people at risk. Absolute nonsense. Anyway, the polls closed for the by-election. We get the results in the morning. One result we did get was a conviction for treason. A man is sentenced to 9 years. He was going into the Windsor Castle grounds with a loaded crossbow in order to kill the Queen. Obviously she'd passed away since, but at the time she was very much alive, and he was going in there to kill her to make up for all the people killed in India by an incident many years ago by the British, which in itself is horrendous, but there's no excuse for murdering people who weren't even born when that thing happened. Have you told her? Yep, she just laughs. I hate the smell of it, as we are non-smokers, and I don't allow people to smoke in my house. I don't like people to smoke in my house, unless of course they catch fire, but I try and avoid that as well if I can. Milo was in hospital 3 weeks ago for surgery to clean out her arteries caused by smoking. She can hardly walk now because of lack of blood flow. Yeah, it clogs up your arteries as well. If you remember that advertisement where they just squeezed all that goo out of the veins, it was horrendous, but it kind of proved a point. I don't know about you, but apparently it's been the hottest September ever. Really? I'd go for wettest, but anyway, apparently it was the warmest. We did have a few warm days, I suppose, but it's the world temperature, and it is a new record. That is not the actual temperature, that is the difference in temperature to what the normal temperature is. As you can see, it's kind of gone up slowly since the early noughties, and has now peaked in 2023 by, I think, over 1.5 degrees. I think that line, remember rightly, is 1 degree above average, and we're trying to keep it 1.5 degrees or less for stop the global warming. But anyway, we'll again have to wait and see what pans out on that one. Meanwhile, where are we? Shares in Metro Bank plunge, bit like they did in Northern Rock a while ago, but been told that there is no need to panic. It's just looking for money to invest, and it is not going under. But again, I think that's one we just have to keep an eye on. The coroner in the inquest of the tragedy on the M53 last week, the coach crash where the driver and the 15-year-old girl sadly died, said that the driver was taken ill at the wheel, although it's not been stated what he had wrong with him, whether it was a heart attack, a stroke, or some other illness, epileptic fit, something like that, I don't know. But either way, absolutely horrendous. And it also turned out that the young girl was actually thrown clear of the bus, and it was that actually caused her to pass. Meanwhile, in Liverpool, the first British or UK battery-powered train went into service, which is all well and good, apart from the fact it's battery-powered, and as you know, I hate battery-powered anything. Hydrogen all the way, or electric, i.e. cables, or third rails, or whatever. Battery-powered trains. The big question is, how old are the bridges that these trains are going to go over, and how heavy were the trains that these bridges were designed for 100 years ago, 100 plus years ago, and how much strength have they got left in them, having not probably been maintained properly for that period of time. Surely it's only a thing of time when one of these trains is going to go over a bridge and the bridge is going to give way. There's only one at the minute in Liverpool, going to Hardybutt Lane, which is a brand new station as well. So one assumes that the bridges are new and everything's new for it. Doesn't use the batteries all the time, which makes it even more pointless. It basically, Hardybutt Lane station is not on the Liverpool metro overhead cabling, but it does take electricity when it's in the city centre and in the surrounding areas, but in order to get out it uses the batteries. But it's still carrying the batteries all the time, and they are heavy, and repeatedly going over bridges that have not been maintained or looked after and not built for this kind of weight is going to affect the strength of the bridges. So surely to God something horrible is going to happen, and I hope to God I'm wrong, but I'll be honest, I'm on, yeah, someone's put bring on the batteries, we'll just block that person. It just baffles me that, you know, people don't think of that. I'm not an engineer, I don't claim to be an engineer, but this is common sense, isn't it? Or are we not, oh, we're not allowed common sense anymore. Sorry, I do apologise. Let's move on to Friday and pretend I never said any of that. And I hope to God I don't have to say told you so. I really do, because, you know, it's just horrible. Holly Willoughby. This is a weird story, but very similar to Jill Dando. Those of you of a certain age will remember Jill Dando. She was a blonde, very popular TV presenter. She did news presenting. She did. She was about to start to do Antiques Roadshow actually, and she was murdered on her doorstep, shot in the head, and I don't think they ever found the killer. But this is Holly Willoughby, everyone's favourite queue jumper and supporter of people who probably don't need support, who was the proposed victim of a kidnapping and murder by the gentleman in the picture. Now, I never judge a book by the cover, but you look at that person there and you go, you know what, looks a wrong 'un. But anyway, apparently he was planning to kidnap Holly Willoughby, take her in his car or whatever, and murder her. I mean, why anyone would even think of something like that is beyond me, let alone begin to act it out. So Holly Willoughby, it's got to be said, since the Queen's death, has had a torrid time, and if I was her, I'd probably just go and hide in a cupboard somewhere for another 12 months and then pop out again and go, hello, I'm here again. But no, I mean, like I said, I'm not a biggest fan by any stretch of the imagination, but something like this is just absolutely diabolical. But thankfully, the police and everything have sorted it out. What's going on here? What is going on here? There's something weird going on the thing. Are we going to skip the ads? You were going to get some ads then, but I've skipped them for you, so you don't get the ads. You can thank me later. You can thank me now if you want. I've said that there's only 4 of you watching, so maybe. But anyway. But yeah, it's just horrendous what people come up with. Talking of which, here's Keir Starmer. Yes, oh, this guy is so annoying. you know, the sad thing is, if Labour had a decent leader who could actually say something and mean something, I'd vote for him. But at the moment, I would vote for Rishi Sunak, because I know he's a plonker, I know he's an idiot, I know he's a multi-millionaire, and I know he doesn't really know about the cost of living or anything like that. But I know all that already. Keir Starmer, I know all about him. Other than, if he takes over being Prime Minister, the country is screwed. Anyway. You've written thank you T. I don't understand that. And there's someone else put thanks. Oh, for the adverts. Yeah, you're alright. Yeah, they're kind of sticking automatically now. It's just one of them things. But I saw it at the bottom. I kind of made a bit of room. So I saw it and I'm like, stop it. So I stopped it. If I don't stop it, I'll stop. And then when the adverts are finished, I'll carry on again. So there's a pause. Don't worry about it. Anyway. Labour win the by-election in Scotland and get 58.6% of the votes. The Tories lose the deposit. Now, the Conservatives have never, ever, ever, ever done well in Scotland. Ever. So that's hardly surprising. And the SNP basically come across, they've not been convicted of anything yet, but they've come across as like wrong uns as well, financially, etc., etc., etc. So it is slightly worrying that they are thinking that because Labour have won this seat that they can win the general election. I think SNP is dead in the water in Scotland, and I think Labour may well win more seats in Scotland, and maybe Lib Dems. Can't see the Tories doing anything in Scotland, I'll be brutally honest with you. But if they're the things that make Labour the government, then I think we should jettison Scotland without any questions. We're not even giving them an opportunity not to, we'll just jettison them. Back in Ukraine, another war crime. A 5-year-old boy killed in another missile strike along with other people. It's just happening daily and it's just horrendous. This weekend sees the closing of the last Wilcos. The Wigan one closed a couple of weeks ago. They'll all be gone by the end of the the end of the weekend. I'm trying to see. That says Spud, doesn't it? S-P-U-D. Why has someone written Spud on a Wilco shutter? That's just a bit weird. As in, weird. Hi T, by the way. Hope you're good. Saturday. Whoops. We've not got Luke on. No, we got a missed call off someone, but I think they realised I was on air, so they decided to hang up. And I'm live on YouTube. Oh no! Oh no! Oh yeah, everyone. And now we've got war breaking out in Israel. Now, when I heard originally that there was war in Israel, I actually blamed Israel for it. Netanyahu, whatever he's called, he's a wrong gun as well. But it turns out it's Hamas who have sent thousands of rockets from the Gaza Strip into Israel. So now Israel are attacking with air-to-ground missiles, etc. And the thing is escalating. Many people have died already. I would have thought multiple hundreds of all ages. And they're not aiming for military targets because, well, there aren't really that many military targets in the towns and villages around the border. So they are just basically killing civilians. It is just horrendous. I've always said that the two things that mankind has come up with, that are the worst two things that mankind has come up with, is religion, full stop, money, full stop. Territory, all animals, because that's all we are, fight over territory, or fight over, it's rutting season, isn't it, for the deers and the bucks and all that, and they're fighting over the women for the mating rights and all that kind of thing. That is natural, but we've created religion and we've created money, and that seems to be the thing that causes more wars than anything else. Territory just carries on as normal. JT and Rachel, that was ages ago. Look at the left cloud, it looks like a dude with the fistcuffs. Okay. Oh, it does actually, yeah, you're right. Anyway, Keir Starmer. Whoa, yeah. Yeah. He's going to sort out the toxic culture for women in the workplace. He won't tell you what a woman is, though. I mean, it's just you couldn't make it up. You really couldn't. He's concentrating on saying in this speech that he's going to sort out the toxic culture in the workplace for women, but he won't tell anyone what a woman is. So who the hell is he sorting this toxic culture out for? The man is an absolute melon. And like I say, if he gets Prime Minister, we are all absolutely shafted. We're the last person to leave the country. Please turn the light out. Anyway, everyone's favourite bit, which is what's going on in America. We want to look at America. We're not talking about the guns anymore in America. Just so it's a bit quicker, really. Otherwise, I'm here for hours and hours and hours. Breaking news. I don't think I've said this before, but Biden repeats same story, word for word, just minutes apart, raising fresh concerns about age and fitness for office. Who knew? Who knew? Meanwhile, Tupac's sister deems murder charge pivotal, pivotal moment and warns multiple hands involved. Tupac Shakur's sister said the arrest of a suspect in the rapper's slaying after nearly 3 decades was a pivotal moment, but warned multiple hands were involved in her brother's shooting death and a lot remains unknown. Today's a victory, she said, after the arrest of Dwayne Keefe D. Davis by Las Vegas police a day earlier. Ukraine shoots down 16 of 30 Russian drones in second night of annexation attacks. Ukraine's air defence, I got that completely wrong. Ukraine's air defence on Sunday shot down 16 of about 30 drones. I'm going to have to open this up a bit. No, not that one. Don't want to open that one up a bit. I want to open this one up a bit if I can. There we go. Ukraine's air defence on Sunday shot down 16 out of about 30 drones launched by Russia overnight. The second day of overnight attacks as President Vladimir Putin marked a year since 4 Ukraine regions were illegally annexed to be with their fatherland. Yeah, right. Drones were launched from the southern, southeastern and northern districts overnight into Sunday. So basically, while I was doing this broadcast last week, record-setting 260,000 migrants crossed southern border in September. So in 1 month, 250,000 migrants entered America illegally. The problem you've got is that we've got this, although America technically is a new country, it's not 300 years old yet. Everyone is an immigrant there apart from the Native Americans. So everyone technically is an illegal immigrant in America apart from the Native Americans. However, in the rest of the world, UK and all that kind of stuff, we've had civilizations that are still running things to a degree for centuries, if not millennia. And we've also been diluted by the influx of migrants. And like we said earlier on, there was that politician who said that the whole of the EU is going to be overrun by migrants and all these people fleeing. Now, if there were families and they were fleeing places like now, Gaza and Israel, but for complete families, you'd be like, you know what, it's very dangerous where you are, yep, come here while it sorts itself out, and then, you know, hopefully you'll be able to go back when it's safe to do so. But these people crossing the borders generally are not families, they are generally young men. You look at them in Greece, when they arrive in Greece, when they arrive in Italy, when they arrive in the UK, when they arrive over the borders in different landlocked countries. it's all young men. And I've said before that some of them might be very nice, and some of them might genuinely have a reason to be fleeing wherever it is they're coming from. But the majority of them, I would imagine, not that nice. They're from a different culture. They don't understand women's rights, for example. They may not get what they want out of life, and they may end up becoming violent. They may be convicted rapists. They may be paedophiles. They may be terrorists. They may be schizophrenics. We don't know anything about these people, and we're just letting them in and then putting them up in the UK in hotels and letting them come out of the hotels whenever they want. It's absolute nonsense. We need to stop it. And well, yeah. Anyway, it won't happen if Keir Starmer gets in. It probably, I don't know, probably say that everyone who's in now can just be legally become a British citizen, and it'll just save on faffing around sending them back again. But I wouldn't give them that option. I'd just send them all back. Full stop. Cops likely waited over 2 decades to arrest Tupac murder suspect Dwayne Keith D. Davis, so he would air more confessions. I mean, no, if someone's a murderer and they've murdered someone, you don't think, you know what, tell you what, mate, we'll leave them for 20 years and then we'll arrest them. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, we'll do that. No, either the police in America are corrupt, the police in America are stupid, or, well, it's got to be one of them. It can't be anything else, because let's be honest, they had a fight in a bar, because we read this last week, just before the shooting, and the two gangs, Tupac's and this other guy's, were at war with each other. So it's pretty obvious whom has done it. Anyway, Jimmy Carter celebrates 99th birthday with family after defying odds in hospice care. Jimmy Carter has always been a man of discipline and habit, but the former president broke routine, putting off his practice of quietly watching church services online to instead celebrate his 99th birthday with his wife, Rosalind, and their children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren, which is nice. I mean, I always thought that Jimmy Carter was a decent president, but that's because I was a child and I didn't know anything about it. I just knew he wasn't Nixon. It turns out he was a bit useless, really. Anyway, Trump expected to come to New York City for civil fraud trial on Monday, say sources, because he's up in court again. He's seen more in courts insides than he's seen, well, probably dollar bills for a while. Huge McDonald's order brought to court during Trump's trial. A supersized McDonald's order was brought into Manhattan court on Monday as former President Donald Trump was fighting a $250 million civil fraud case. Staffers in suits were seen hauling bags after bags bearing the iconic McDonald's golden arches into the centre complex during a lunch break. I mean, you think they'd have restaurants in there, but he's very famously a McDonald's fan, although McDonald's isn't massive in America. Yevgeny Prigozhin's son to inherit fortune of the Wagner Group. The late Russian warlord Yevgeny Prigozhin reported left most of his on-paper fortune and Wagner Group mercenary group to his 25-year-old son Pavel. A photo of a document that appears to be Yevgeny's was posted on Telegraph, indicating that Pavel would inherit about $120 million, the private army, a house in St. Petersburg, 9 joint stock companies and shares in his father's Concord catering firm. The Times of London reported, without independently verifying anything. So yeah, they reported it, but there was no verification. Still don't think he's dead, I'll be honest. Firefighters called to raging house blaze. Turned out it was just amazing Halloween decor. There's no higher praise for Halloween decor enthusiasts, as the Glens Fall Fire Department were called to a house for a confirmed structure fire. Turned out it was no fire, it was just a really good lighting effect. There was one of them near here where it was Father Christmas going past the window, but it was all like 3D Father Christmas. It was really cool, I'll be honest with you. Woman killed by chocolate from palm reader who said she was going to die soon. Die soon, not die soon. Investigators are baffled over the case of a woman who died after eating chocolate she got from a palm reader who said she didn't have long to live. She vomited, her vision was a bit blurred, her body was soft. It was a matter of hours, the victim's bereaved cousin said. The tragedy occurred in August. I mean, yeah, it's like, you don't have long to live. You don't have long to live. You're going to die soon. Right, that's €75, please. Thank you. Do you want a free chocolate? And then you could say, we predict your death on the door. No, I shouldn't make light of that, but no, it's very peculiar, isn't it? Very peculiar indeed. Bit suspicious, yes, Luke. A little bit. I'll ponder that. Trump calls for shoplifters to be shot to stop all of the pillaging and theft during a fiery speech. Former President Donald Trump promised to immediately stop all the pillaging and theft if he returned to the White House by calling on the police to open fire on shoplifters. I mean, nice to see he's not lost his marbles, isn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong, shoplifters are the scum of the earth. Not that we've all probably had a bag of sweets or something from our local corner shop when we were kids. Would we want to get shot for that? I don't think so. I got that guilty. I actually left some thingamabob. The Cloonan's crew have joined. Oh, God. Holly. Hiya, Holly. Hiya, Billy. Hope you're good. Hope you finished watching the singy song thing that you're watching. I forgot the name of it because I don't watch stuff like that, but yay! Woo. Cloonan's is a shop in Wigan Market, and Holly and co are people who work there. Trump shares bizarre court sketch of him sitting next to Jesus at the fraud trial. All seems legit. Former President Donald Trump shared a bizarre court sketch of himself sitting next to Jesus before returning to the courtroom for the second day of the trial in his Manhattan civil fraud case. The image was originally posted on X, formerly Twitter, by user Dom Lucy, who wrote it is the most accurate court sketch of all time because nobody could have made it this far alone. Pitch perfect. Yeah, there you go. I will follow you, follow you, follow you, follow you until the sun goes down. I know that's Sister Act, I'm not stupid. Drivers using New York City Tunnel will get congestion toll discounts. And you're like, what? The congestion toll, or CAS as it is here, or ULEZ as it is in London, is all over the world. It's just basically councils, governments, whatever, just screwing the motorist over the best way they can, in the pretext of it's going to save the world. Yeah. Drivers who cross the Hudson or East Rivers using the tolled tunnels will get a discount on the controversial coming Manhattan congestion charge. The discounts of $4 to $7 will be discounted against the base congestion charge, which could cost between $9 and $23, depending on possible exceptions and other discounts offered. I mean, it's either a charge or it isn't a charge. I don't quite understand why they're getting discounts on it, but anyway. I also think it's all vehicles, unless they're electric, but obviously electrics are even worse for the environment than petrol, so I don't understand how that works. Tennessee teacher busted for sex with 12-year-old claims she's pregnant, and she's going to raise his baby. A Tennessee teacher charged with having sex with her 12-year-old student told the boy she's pregnant with his child and wants to keep the baby, according to a report. I mean, talk about sick. Well, yeah, I just did. Absolute nonsense. Or should that be nonsense? See what I did there? I'll get your bum now. Florida judge exonerates Miami teacher fired for refusing to use students' preferred pronouns. A Florida law judge has ruled in favour of a Miami teacher who was fired, for refusing to use students' preferred pronouns, calling transgenderism a new secular faith. In his controversial ruling, the teacher, Yogi Maduri, told a student during a 2019 classroom exchange that she would not use their desired pronouns due to her Christian beliefs. God makes no mistakes. Well, God doesn't, because he doesn't exist, you silly woman. However, I do agree with you not using pronouns as such. Fiery moment, FedEx plane crash lands and skids off a runway in Tennessee. A FedEx plane crash landed and skidded off a runway in Tennessee after its landing gear failed, but miraculously no one was injured, authorities said. Multiple public safety agencies rushed to the airport just after 11 p.m. when the troubled FedEx 757 flight reported it had experienced the landing gear failure shortly after taking off. But yeah, it's always spectacular, more so when no one gets hurt or injured, watching a plane land with no wheels. It is superb. The Florida law judge, each judge has to hold a judge whilst making a ruling. Yes. I have the Florida pint of Guinness. No, it's that. Oh, hang on. The Dublin pint of Guinness. So yeah, a Dublin pint of Guinness says that don't use pronouns other than the correct ones at birth. Firefighter accused of creating fires he helped to put out. A US Navy vet turned firefighter has been arrested and charged with starting 4 fires in the very community he serves, with the alleged rogue returning moments later to put them out. Has anyone seen the movie Backdraft? Asking for a friend. To be fair, it's one of the few movies I've seen. A woman struck in hit and run was again hit by a responding officer. You couldn't make this up. A woman who was struck by a speeding hit and run driver when she was crossing the street was hit again just moments later, this time by a police officer responding to the accident. Queena Brown, 38, was pronounced dead at the scene of the intersection in Louisiana. Officers said it was unclear whether she was already dead at the time of the second impact. Rather irrelevant. There shouldn't have been a second impact, should there really? I mean, you think police officers would know better. I mean, Jesus. I caught a bit of Backdraft the other night. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got the reference, I'll be honest with you. I caught the end of it. Well, not all of it. Russian agents uncover alleged plot from within to assassinate Putin. Russian security services are hunting for one of their own in connection with an alleged plot to assassinate President Vladimir Putin. The suspect conspiracy came to light after a chance encounter between the would-be hitman, a rogue officer with an unspecified Russian law enforcement agency, and the businessman of a suburban karaoke bar. All seems completely legit. Shame they actually caught it, but never mind. It's always next time, isn't there? Teacher placed on leave over OnlyFans page has now resigned to focus on porn. The Missouri teacher who was placed on leave after she was found running an OnlyFans page with her husband has now resigned to devote time to the porn. I don't want to fight the school district, I'm just ready for peace. A peace of what though? That's what we want to know. I hope Billy and Holly are not getting any ideas. Next up, Scottish authorities sign extradition order for US fugitive accused of faking his death to avoid a rape charge. Scottish authorities have signed an extradition order for an American fugitive accused of faking his own death to avoid a rape charge in Utah. The response to Freedom of Information request, the Scottish government said an extradition order for the man local officials referred to as Nicholas Rossi had been signed and he would be flying over soon. Good. Because we don't want people like that in the UK, do we? Have you been on the old, what was it you were drinking tonight, Holly? Can't remember what it was now, you said. It was not tequila, it was the other one, wasn't it? Tequila, it makes me happy. To be fair, I've got some tequila, I've just not drunk it because I don't know how you drink it. Taylor Swift is the only person who could defeat Trump in the 2024 election, ex-aide Elisa Farah Griffin declares. Yeah, well, she's a complete nonsense as well. It's grim. It's grim up north. Yeah, if Taylor Swift gets in, then we might as well just shut the shutters and just leave. Biden's dog, Commander, booted from White House as staff sound alarm over more attacks. We have to speak up. President Biden's dog, Commander, was recently booted from the White House as reports have emerged that he's bitten more personnel than previously disclosed. He's actually an agent for Vladimir Putin, and he's trying to infect everyone in the White House so that they stop sending money to Zelensky. It's obvious, isn't it? Driver of deadly bus crash near Venice may have fallen ill before a plunge that killed 21. We had a look at this earlier on in the weekly news. The driver of a bus that crashed near Venice, Italy, killing 21 people, may have experienced some kind of medical emergency before he careered off an overpass, plunging the vehicle more than 30 feet. Officials said the nationalities of the dead revealed. What? Officials said as the nationalities of the dead were revealed. Okay. Authorities have launched an investigation into the fiery crash after learning the 40-year-old driver was among the dead. So yeah, horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. 2 coach crashes with 40-year-old drivers, both having alleged medical episodes. One in the UK, one in Italy. A New York City Community Board refuses to name street for Miracle on Hudson pilot. It's a plain shame. A Manhattan Community Board shot down a proposal to rename part of West 50th Street near 11th Avenue after Captain Chelsea Sully, the retired pilot who landed the US Airways flight with 155 passengers in the Hudson River in guess what year? You know, when you think, oh, that only happened, like 5 years ago, something like that. No, that happened in 2009. 14 years ago, that plane landed on the Hudson. 14 years ago. That's ridiculous. That's before Holly was born. Well, before Holly knew what the news was, probably. But no. And anyway, he's not getting a street named after him. That's that. Trump asked judge to throw out the January 6th case, claims presidential immunity. Lawyers for former President Donald Trump asked Washington DC federal judge on Thursday to throw out his indictment in connection with the January the 6th, 2021 Capitol riot based on presidential immunity, according to new court filings. So basically what he's saying is the president can do anything he wants, but because he's a president, he can't face the law. No one's above the law, and you can't claim presidential immunity, and I don't think you should be allowed to pardon yourself if you're criminally charged with something and then become president. It's not how it works. Whoa, I was very well educated in 2009 and knew my ABCS and all. No, it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, U, R, S, 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 T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Notorious wedding crasher arrested once again after stealing gifts in 3 states. This is genius, to be fair. If you want a new toaster or anything like that, just go into a wedding, dress up, go to a wedding and just take something and say, oh, I'm taking it home for whoever the bride is. Because that'd be good. Obviously not. Holly even made it to the news in America. Morning show host pulled from air as terrifying plot to kidnap and murder her uncovered. Putin, yay. Putin says Russia has tested next generation nuclear weapon. Yeah, well, I mean, you know. Momo the monkey chugged beer, broke into home whilst leading Indianapolis cops on a 24-hour chase. He's quite the party animal. A nearly 24-hour long search for an escaped pet monkey in Indianapolis finally ended, but not before the primate chugged a stolen beer, broke into a vacant house and caused some injuries. Mumu was safely nabbed by his owner's brother after he busted into a home that is still under construction. Momo the monkey is a legend. Yes, Momo is superb. Sadly, been shot. No, I'm joking. Well, it is in America, so it is possible. Amazon offers £1 million prize for Ring video proof of aliens and UFO. Can you imagine the amount of crap they're going to get sent? There's one hefty constellation prize. Oh, I see what they've done there. Constellation. Yeah, very good. Well done. Ring is offering a $1 million award to anyone who can capture an alien sighting on their Amazon company doorbell cameras. Ring's $1 million search for extraterrestrials encourages Ring users to scour their footage for any signs of unnatural or abnormal activity. For almost 100 years, scientists and experts and average owners have shared stories about aliens and spaceships, but now they want to catch it on camera. Momo just wanted to let his hair down. No, that's not Momo again, that's an alien. Been caught on camera. I have a pick of Billy, does that count? Oh. Let's not pick on Billy. He kind of looks like E.T. Yeah, what Billy does. Trump says he's willing to serve as House Speaker for up to 90 days if it's necessary to unite Republicans. That's good of him, isn't it? Former President Donald Trump revealed on Thursday that he would accept a short-term role as Speaker of the House if necessary to unite the Republican Party. Trump, 77, said that if Republicans struggle to reach a consensus on a replacement for Republican Kevin McCarthy, he will be willing to fill the role for a 30, 60 or 90-day period. He's all heart, isn't he, Donald Trump? He gets bad press, but he's a good guy, really. Smiling Florida man, 77, it's not Donald Trump, coincidence, could face hard time for allegedly selling erectile dysfunctional pills to other seniors. Sorry I'm quiet, just getting some messages I must reply to. Don't worry about it, it's fine. Can he do that from a jail cell? Well done. A Florida retirement community resident flashed a toothy grin in his mugshot, even though he's possibly facing hard time for allegedly buying erectile dysfunctional drugs without a prescription to peddle to his fellow seniors. Reginald Odell Kinzer, 77, received more than $1,800 worth of misbranded erectile dysfunction drugs that he bought without authorization from a physician. I think he's doing a public service. Although, you know, if you're a single octogenarian, I don't know why you'd want to have an ED pill, but you know. Funnily enough, I was talking to a lady who'd written a book that was quite intimate. I think it was described as. He's got good teeth though. He has got good teeth. He puts them in a little jar every night when he goes to bed. I was talking to a lady who's written a book, and I put it on the Wigan Watch thing, so if you watched it you'll have seen it, and she talks about a book and everything, and after we finished I said, and you've got to spot the character that, you know, obviously has been inspired by myself, at which point she started laughing. I thought, right, I'll get you back. So when we got back to her stall, which was Cloonan's, Holly, where she works and all that, and Billy, and I said to her, what I'll do is, I'll edit this and I'll get it up as quick as I can tonight, and then I'll see, and that way, because she's doing a book signing today, which was tomorrow, and then maybe more people will come tomorrow, you see, so I can be funny as well. Shout out to Kathleen, yeah. Book available to order from Waterstones. And finally, Biden repeats same story word for word, just minutes apart, raising fresh concerns about age fitness for office. Who knew? Who knew? Who is she? Who is she? Who is she? Anyway, yeah, I digress. So that's it for the American news. We're now going to go down under. What's going on in Australia? Let's look at Australia. I'm sure there's news from Australia. It's not much though this week, I have to be honest with you. It's quite a short one. They showed, weirdly, which American didn't do, the inside of the big dome, TV dome thing, that is in Las Vegas. And if you can see down there, that's the stage with U2 on it, and this thing is massive. And it's massive dome, and they just put different images on it and everything, and it also has the image on the outside as well. There was a big one of it with a smiley face on it, which was really cute. Really cute it was dead cute. Next up is 2 men dead after knockout festival. 2 men in their 20s have died after being taken to hospital following a hardstyle festival in Sydney. There were 9 urgent medical transfers to hospital from the Knockout Festival's event facility. Knockout was among the 3 big music festivals held in Sydney this weekend. Basically, it's a metal hardcore thing. Talking about double on trails, fans put their wands up as tribute to Michael Gambon. It's what he would have wanted. Yeah, I'm just going to get my wand up for Michael Gambon. Michael Gambon, the actor who died last week, and he played some wizardy guy in some of the Harry Potter movies. So they all raised their wand all together outside in public. They all got the wands out and got them up in tribute, which I think is a very nice thing. And I hope when I pass that people get their wand out as well and raise it in tribute. They just got really excited. I get my wand up for him though. He played Dumbledore. There you go, Dumbledore. I've never seen a Harry Potter movie, so I don't know. I just know he played a wizardy guy. Because the other one died, didn't he? Oh, he paid Dumbledore. Oh, right. Oh. Did he get his wand up for him? Well, hey. Talking of which, here we go again. A man charged with murder over body in burnt out car. A 19-year-old man has today fronted court accused of the murder of a 38-year-old man found in a burnt out car nearby. Benjamin Jack McLaughlin was pulled from the water naked after he was allegedly behind the wheel of a wanted Pajero when it crashed and rolled into its side around 12:30 a.m. Police allege the 38-year-old man driving a red SUV came across the scene and pulled over before they rescued him. Lots of nudity. Lots of nudity. No, I've never seen him either. I watched the first 5 minutes of it with letters coming out of a chimney and I thought this is nonsense, so I turned it off. Airport evacuated after bomb threat in Queenstown. Queenstown Airport has been evacuated and emergency services are on the scene in response to a bomb threat. All passengers due to depart today and those expecting to meet arrivals on incoming flights are asked not to come to the airport until advised otherwise. Bo. Why was he scantily clad though? Because he went for a swim. Skinny dipping. We've all done it. Well, I haven't, but you know. Most popular and unusual dog names revealed in Australia, mate. And look at that pretty picture of a little corgi going all like that, you know, there. I'm not a doggy person. That other one at the other side going like that. Alright, lovely. Having the same name as someone else is always rough. The most popular and unique dog names of the past year have been revealed in new data from Bupa Pet Insurance. Do your furry friends' names make that list? Well, spoiler, Silence isn't on the list, which is a cat, to be fair. So the most popular, Luna, Daisy, Milo. Now, my next door neighbour's got a dog, and it's called Milo. Bella, Coco, Teddy, Charlie, Frankie, Archie, and Ruby. Most unusual, Gucci, Pepe, Yoda, Bundy, he's a mass murderer. Pedro, Lady, Dougal, Chili, Mr. and Daphne. I've got a Daphne. Keeps hurting when I bend it. Should Australia move to ban cigarettes for younger generations? So the question is being asked now, what Rishi Sunak has done in the UK, should they do it in Australia? Bearing in mind, Rishi Sunak is actually doing what they're doing in New Zealand, or trying to do in New Zealand. Anyway, UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is proposing to raise the smoking age by 1 year every year to phase out smoking amongst young people by 2040. It means a 14-year-old today would never be able to legally buy tobacco in their lifetime. New Zealand already has similar laws in place, so should Australia follow? Yes. Who calls their dog just Mister though? Well, Holly, my cat Silence, is ignoring me. When I inherited her, after Rona passed away, he called her Kitty. And I was like, well, it's her name, so I will use it, you know, in respect and all that kind of thing. Does she ever respond to Kitty? Never. Never, ever, ever. Kitty? Nothing. Zip. Nothing. So that, right, it's a stupid name anyway. It's like calling a cat, cat. Or calling, if you've got a kid, calling it kid. It's just stupid. Anyway, she never made any noise, so I come up with Silence. And she responded to that after many other names, but yeah, she likes Silence. And now it's ironic because she never shuts up. See? Ridiculous. Anyway, Kanye West and Aussie wife legally married. I don't know what he sees in there, but anyway. The legal marriage between Kanye West and his Australian partner, Bianca Censori, occurred just 1 month after the divorce from Kim Kardashian was finalised in 2022. So basically, they've been married for over a year, but we've only just found out about it, and I'm so relieved we have, because, you know, I was worried. My cat's called Willow from Buffy. Best name. We had, at one time, we had, because I was in a relationship with my ex, and she's the one who introduced cats to the house, to be fair. And the first cat we got was black and white. We called her Sooty. And then we got a ginger Tom. We called that one Sweep. And then a black and white cat, but more white than black. More of a tortoiseshell, to be fair. Moved in and deposited kittens on her, so we called her Sue. So occasionally I stand at the back door and shout Sooty, Sweep and Sue. All long gone now, but you know. Gone but not forgotten. And now we've got the at finally, and I'll be honest with you, there's quite a lot of these tonight, you'll be pleased to hear. My neighbour's dog's called Willow. There you go. My dog was called Sam. Sam, the two of us have always been eating hot dogs from a tambourine. Or something like that, I don't know. Anyway, this is the bits that I found on the internet that make me go or huh? So first off, this is a gunpowder deliveries first right. As you can see, it's outside the Houses of Parliament. Very funny, because let's be honest, they're all a bit useless at the moment. I remember when all this was trees. Banksy genius. I love Banksy stuff. I'm really glad I went to see the exhibition at Salford when it was there. You can see the video if you go to the bus trips playlist. There's a Banksy picture as a thumbnail. Click on that and you'll see the Banksy exhibition. Second wonky pub torched just minutes from Crooked House in suspected arson. A 500-year-old Greyhound and Punch Bowl pub in Bilston, West Midlands, was torched in the early hours of Saturday, and even though the fire was put out, most of the pub was damaged. All seems a bit unnecessary. Why are people burning these down? Oh yeah, because it's a good way to build what you want there instead and make more money. Just 15 people turn up for the XL Bully protest after a bloodbath and mauling fears. The Birmingham organiser of an XL Bully protest aimed at showing how gentle the dogs are has blamed the low turnout on train strikes and the prospect of police involvement. Yeah, and also the fact that most people are not fucking idiots who have dogs. It's just the who have dogs like you, who can't train them properly, who end up having people killed by them. This is terrifying. Robot wolves unleashed to fight off bears after they attack the elderly. In a bit of fend-off bear attacks, Japan has pulled out all the stops, creating robotic scarecrows known as monster wolves to strike fear into the hearts of any wild animal. I don't know about you, but that's striking fear into the hearts of me because it's on wheels. It can move around. Horrendous. A Loch Ness Monster expert claims he has baby Nessie footage poking its head out, and once again in this age of 50 billion pixel cameras and 55k videos, we get an image like that. I mean, it's absolute nonsense. Billy said good on the Bears. He would do. He is a Bear fan, isn't he? He does like the Bears, don't you, Billy? Better than them twinks. Putin warlord throws punch to prove fitness after claims he was at death's door. Razumom Kadyrov, the Chechen warlord and close friend of Vladimir Putin, was seen throwing punches in a recent video claiming to prove his health following rumours of his death. There's lots of people rumoured to die in Russia and they all seem to pop up again. Jeremy Clarkson's, it's not Twitter anymore now, is it? It's X, formerly Twitter. BA, I've messed up on our flights home, so we're marooned here at a luxury camp in Botswana with only 40 staff. It's all about survival now. I don't know how they do it. I mean, just for the sake of the Grand Tour, you've got to hand it to these guys. They are heroes. Meanwhile, new winter fuel payments update as millions of Brits could receive £600 this year. Temperatures are starting to drop across the UK, well, not today, and the government is now doing everything it can to help struggling Brits afford high energy prices this winter. Richard Hammond could kill me. I got told I looked like Richard Hammond before he had a beard, and that freaked me out, although then I found out he's actually quite a bit younger than me, so I'm like, you know what, I'll take that. But I always thought he was weird looking. Oh, we've got cock and balls on the screen now, I do apologise. KFC workers deny scrawling Todgers all over Dad's bag. I really should read these before I read them, if you know what I mean. KFC workers deny scrolling Todgers all over Dad's sack as kids ask what pics are. Right, you're not telling me anything younger than 6-year-old would not know what that is. David Carpenter has hit out at a KFC chain for allegedly drawing expletive doodles over his sack with micro-Todgers penned into the takeaway package, which has led to a family boycott. I don't know how far out they reached out of the window when he was in the drive-thru, but there you go. They managed to write on his sack. Quite impressive. Now you think that's funny. Hi Cougar, welcome. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Dum 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 dum. It's a photo fit. Police in Maidenhead release e-fit after man targets woman on footpath in sex attack. I mean, the aggressor grabbed the victim's jumper and attempted to lift it up, which is horrific, don't get me wrong. But the photo fit? Aye. I don't, what? Yeah, it's what? It's, sorry. Oh, I just hope there's no advert for that one, because that was hilarious. Rishi Sunak to ban people smoking as legal age will go up every year. We've already covered that. The eyes are bigger than the hat. The eyes are bigger than anything. I mean, those eyes are that big. There'd be no room for a brain in a normal size head. I mean, it's like one of the worst e-fits I've seen for a long while. One of the worst e-fits I've seen for a long while. And I think, I mean, if you look closely, the mouth looks rather big as well. As in completely oversized for the size of the head. Maybe if it was a bigger head, it would be... Anyway, we're back to where we were before, aren't we? Let's move on, shall we? Crackpot Putin prepares Russia for World War III with terrifying nuclear drill. Russia has undergone its first nationwide civil defence exercise as Putin indoctrinates his people about the danger of the West triggering a nuclear war. It's good at surveillance. I like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be very discreet, but he would be. That guy would be very good at surveillance. UK town besieged by pigeon poo cries for beaked protector, but shoppers are scared. Residents of UK towns say the high street is awash with seagull and pigeon poo and have called for a wing saviour to scare off their growing number of pests. But the idea has hit a roadblock. Basically, I think they're on about getting a falcon of some kind just to fly around a little bit and take one or two of them out, and then it'll frighten all the other ones away. Elon Musk weighs in on whether aliens exist, as if anyone would know it's him. SpaceX founder and loony, Elon Musk has weighed in on the debate about whether there are aliens out there and declared, if anyone would know whether there's life beyond our planet, it would probably be me. Yeah, because he is an alien, isn't he? Allegedly. Alcohol-free weddings are the latest trend as people ditch boozy big day. Well, that's me not going to any more weddings. Not that I can remember the last time I went to a wedding, but there you go. I accidentally moved into a haunted house. I've felt ghosts and heard screams. Sharon Ludick, in her 70s, bought the McPipe Mansion at Alton in Illinois, not knowing it was flooded with ghosts. Now guests hear crashes, voices and see ghoulish figures in the windows. Lovely. I don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe in spiritual activity. What's the point of a wedding if not for the drink? Exactly, Holly. Absolute nonsense. When you and Billy get married and I get invited to the wedding, I want to be drunk. Although that generally means I do disrobe quite a bit. So maybe have an alcohol-free wedding if I'm going, just for your own safety. Not that I'd do anything. I meant for your sanity, not for your safety. I'll shut up now. Conspiracy theorists claimed energy alert will turn vaccinated into zombies. Emergency alert even, not energy alert. Conspiracy theorists, not me, I am a conspiracy theorist apparently, have made wild claims over the latest federal warning systems as they bizarrely alleged the alert would make those vaccinated against COVID turn into zombies. How the would that happen? It wouldn't. Absolute nonsense. Admitted, I chose not to have the vaccine. That was my personal choice, and I would never diss anyone who did have the vaccine. That was their personal choice as well. But it's not going to turn you into a zombie, and particularly not because of an electrical impulse coming through on your mobile phone. Or is it? Warning, 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 you're a zombie. Warning, you're a zombie. Warning. Snapchat video of 98-mile-per-hour killer driver sucking balloons before tragedy struck. Yeah, that prick was jailed for 8 years after his Snapchat story showed him driving at 98 miles an hour before he passed out moments later while huffing nitrous oxide, and then had a crash killing one person. Nitrous oxide should be banned, I agree on that, but people who do any filming on any media whilst holding the phone and driving should face prison, regardless of what happens. BBC, just to clarify, my phone is in a phone holder and I do not touch it until the car has stopped moving and the engine has gone off. BBC acts as Top Gear after 46 years following Freddie Flintoff's horror crash. The BBC has reportedly made the sad decision to act as a legendary motor show after 46 years following host Freddie Flintoff's near-fatal crash last year. Now, we saw Freddie Flintoff a few weeks ago and he looked dreadful. He looked like he'd had some kind of horrendous stroke or something like that in the pictures, but when he's moving around he seemed to be okay. But yeah, awful, but acting a show, I'm not sure about that. Inhaling nitrous oxide is a bad idea. That's a good point, actually. Old Top Gear is peak anyway. Yes, it is indeed, with them three that was just shown. Truth about UFOs hidden by secret group who believe aliens are demonic. Claims have been made that a mysterious organisation called Collins Elite. It's Collins Elite. How cool's that? It's controlling the UFO agenda and preventing the public from knowing the truth about Earth's visitors. No, it's not, because they don't exist. Spooked couple spot ghost in fried egg as ghoul meddles in morning fry-up. Now, to be fair, you have to turn this on its side. Martin and Kim Thomas were terrified. I mean, that's a fried egg. I'm terrified that they fried an egg that looks like that. And it's obviously been made to look like that. They've obviously poked it with something because the yolks burst. And anyway, Martin and Kim Thomas were terrified to spot what they believed was an apparition in their eggs, with the couple's 20-year-old wedding anniversary hit with a Halloween fright. I mean, it is terrifying, isn't it? It's monumentally terrifying. Alright, there it is. There he is. Let's turn it round so you can see that, look, it's a ghost. Ooh. Mind you, it's got me talking about it, so I suppose they've got their 35 seconds of fame. Next. They should just grab a new egg from a different brand. Yeah, that was horrible egg. I thought this was a screenshot from the video Yellow by Coldplay. Look at the stars, look how they shine for you, and everything they do, they're all yellow. Because it's basically, he's dressed like that and it's sitting down and he's on a beach. But it's not. A Met Office issues a rare amber warning as 7 inches of rain could be deadly. It would be if it all fell in one go. Very deadly. The Met Office has issued an amber danger to life warning for rain this weekend as some Brits look set to face deep and fast-flowing floods, travel chaos and power cuts. You know what, they give a weather warning. It's a bit like a celebrity turns up for the opening of an envelope. Beautiful singing, thank you. I didn't like it, I loved it. Wagner boss, for instance, got high and set off grenade on the plane, says Putin, which makes it even more suspicious. Vladimir Putin has alleged the Wagner group leader, Yevgeny, cause of death was his own doing, with hand grenades and cocaine all playing their part, the Russian president claimed, because he was on board the plane. No, he sent a rocket and blew it up, or he had a bomb in there that blew it up, might have been a grenade. Heavy pouring rain is nice, yeah, but maybe not 7 inches of it. I mean, 7 inches is that much rain. That is 7 inches, isn't it? Yeah, it's that much rain. That's a lot of rain. If that fell on your head in one go, you'd know about it. Hashtag just saying. And finally, Nostradamus predicts a new great war and evil doing as Israel hit by rockets. Well, no he didn't, because Nostradamus was from hundreds of years ago, before rockets were invented, before Israel was invented. So he has not predicted new great war and evil doing as Israel is hit by rockets. He did it hundreds of years ago. So don't talk nonsense. Sorry, getting a bit uptight then about Nostradamus. I do apologise. A little bit, not a lot. You're going to like this, a little bit, not a lot. Not a lot. Right. So, there you go. Oh no, I missed it. Oh, poo, you've got an advert, sorry. I don't know why the advert's still on. Oh, I just noticed it just as it clicked onto the advert. So you're watching an advert now. I do apologise. I'm sorry if you're watching an advert. Has the advert gone off yet? Has the advert gone off yet? So I can carry on. Although to be fair, we're at the end. We're done. So big shout out to everyone. Scooby-Doo. I don't know. Raggy. I don't know. So big shout out to the people who've contributed to the chat. Alan Barton, Kim Braid, Luke Williams, JT and Rachel, Angela O'Kane, Luke Williams, Holly Mather and Billy, my favourite Billy that I know, apart from obviously Billy Monger, the racing driver who tragically lost his legs and is currently racing across the world. But other than that, he's my favourite Billy. Oh, and Biffa Billy Bacon, or whatever he was called, out of his. He's one of my favourite Billies. Cougar Town, big shout out to you as well. If you want a quick shout out, quickly put up. Hamilton Caven Lewis, just in time, got a shout out. Woo, 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 woo. Hello from Welly. Yeah, I drive through Welly on a regular basis. So, we've had 36 viewers, chat rate of 4, which is good. Average view duration is 1/4 of an hour. We've only had 3 likes though, which is a bit sad. I like it when we get more likes than 3, but what can you do? It's the only time I ever see them. Billy No Mates. Oh yeah, of course, I forgot about him. Yeah, he's good as well. Billy Bunter, the fat kid. From the 1950s, so I'm allowed to call him fat. Yeah, they're all good. Anyway, that is it. Big shout out to T as well. Thank you very much for watching, if indeed you still are. And if you're intoxicated because you've been drinking weird stuff and you're about to sleep in a garden, hi Billy, then well done. I don't know what that means. I know what well done means, but I don't know what it means in the context of what I've just said. But anyway, yeah, that is it for this episode, which is great because it's, how long was it? An hour and a half, which is about right, really. You don't want to do any longer than that. But JT, just a quick shout out. It's only an hour and a half, this one. Ergo, whatever you do, don't think you can go for your break yet, because you listen to this as a podcast when you're at work. So don't go for a break, okay? No worries. Glad you liked it. I've had one more like. Glad you liked it, Alan. Oh, we're up to 5 now. Yeah, thank you very much. Don't forget, if you've just joined us, unfortunately, you've come at the end, which takes us back to Kathleen's book. Have a wonderful night. Oh, I've got. I had 5 likes. And it's gone down to 4 likes. Oh heck, sorry. I'll retract that joke. Yeah, it's the hardest work I do for a YouTube video. This one, because I do it all week, and it gets the least amount of views. So, but I don't mind. I enjoy doing it. And I am a conspiracy theorist, but I'm just more polite than other people. I could look at breaking news, but I don't want to. Oh, it's got up to 5 again. Someone's messing around. The best at the end though. Yeah, a bit of singing, definitely. Anyway, that is it. I'm going to say be seeing you, and I will see you all again in the future. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and bye! I said bye then. That was funny. You see what I did? I went, bye!